So our project, as I told you here, it will be a stopwatch. All you have to do here, we have 0 and 0, that's minutes, that's second, and milliseconds, they must be from thousands. So it's not, it's 3-digit. So 0, 0, 0. It will be 3-digit. Whenever you click on start, it will start the stopwatch. As you can see, if you click on stop, it will stop at this number, but if you click start again, it should start from the same number. If you click reset, it will reset everything, simply like that. Okay, so if I go to my repo here, as I told you, we have an asset, we have just a simple image. This image here, just for this one, you can add it or don't add it, just an image. After that, we have the planning. And the planning here, it's you will put your planning. We have the source component, event handler, util, data DOM, init.js, same structure we study. We have styles, and here we have style.css. Now, I've already put the CSS. I use the same as the project because I don't want to waste time on CSS. You should write your own CSS. Okay, after that, we have Babel RC. You know what Babel is doing. We have ESLint ignore, just some file to ignore linting. Then we have ESLint rc.json here, just some rule here. The same structure, get ignore. I'm just adding some file which I want get to ignore them. Prettier ignore also, I want prettier not to format some file, for example, node coverage and asset. I don't want to format them, and that's some rule for prettier to format my files. Then I have my index.html and I have my package.json. In the package.json, you can run two scripts. Format, it will format your code test. It will test your util or component function. And I have some library already installed for you, so don't worry about that. And readme. First, let's go to our index.html. In my index.html, as you can see, I have nothing here, just the title is stopwatch. And then here I put everything inside what div. This div has a class container. And inside this div, I have another div. And inside this div, I just put my image here. And my image, it will be this image here. This image here. Then for the time, I have a div with ID time. I have, as you can see, minute, second, and millisecond. And after that, I have another div with 3 buttons. So I have start, stop, and reset, as you can see. So if I go to my stopwatch, that's not mine, that's mine. If I click on it, inspect it, as you can see. So that's my whole container, which is include everything. Then I have inside the container 3 div. The first div, it will be for the image, as you can see, and that's my image. The second div, it will be for the time, and here I have minutes, as you can see, second and millisecond. They are separated by colon, as you can see. And then I have another div, which is class buttons, and I have 3 buttons, as you can see, start, stop, and reset. Other than that, I'm just linking my init.js here, my entry point of JavaScript. So nothing new here. So let's try to build our project now. So the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to my source, I need to define my data. What do you think my data will be? So I say const data. My data, of course, it will be an object, as you know. And here I need to export it directly, right? Voila. So can anyone tell me what data do I need here? Guys, any idea what data do I need? Yes.
Maybe minutes, seconds.
Of course, I need first millisecond because I have milliseconds. So millisecond. And millisecond here, by default, I will give it value 0. Okay. Is millisecond is not correct. Look like millisecond. Voila. And after millisecond, I will need second, right? So second, it will be 0. And minute here, after that, it will be 0 as well. Now, I have millisecond, second, and minute. And also, I will add another property, which will be the interval ID. Why? Because here in this project, I need to use a set interval. Why do I need to use set interval? Well, because I want the hour here, the value to change like after each specific period of time. So most probably I will need set interval. So here I can just say interval ID. And here I will give it a value null. Null does mean nothing. Voila. So that's for now my data. Of course, I need two other piece of data, but I will not add them now. So millisecond, 0, second, 0, minute, 0, and interval ID here, because I told you when you use set interval, it return a unique ID. So I'm trying to save the ID here. Are the data clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
But the interval ID, it should be here, or when we
I
create the
will put it-
function?
I will put it inside my data because I need sometime when I stop the stopwatch, I need to know if there is interval. So how could I know if there is interval or not? I can check from my data if there is set interval ID. If there is an ID, then I know that there is an interval, then I can clear it. You got my point, Agnieszka. I'm putting
Okay.
it here to know in my code if I have interval or no. Okay?
Okay.
So that's simply my data. Now let's go to DOM. And in DOM, actually, it will not be that difficult. So it should be simple here. Let's go to DOM. Let's just say const DOM. It's equal to an object, as you know. And here I need to export it directly, exp DOM. What do you think my DOM will be? So what do I need in the DOM? Of course, I will need the time here all the time. I will need the buttons, all three buttons here, and I will need the time, all of that, this one. Now, if I have the time, then I can access the minute, I can access the second, and I can access the millisecond, right? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
So here what I need, first I will need time. And time here, of course, it will be document dot get element by ID. Why? Because it has an ID, right? ID is time. Then I will need a start button here. So I will say start. I will just name it start. Start. You can name it start btn or start. It doesn't matter. Here I will just name it document dot get its ID as well. So I can use get element by ID and I can use start. Then I have stop, as you can see, same idea. And then I will have a reset. So for now, that's my DOM element, as you can see. So all of them has an ID, start, stop, reset, start, stop, reset, get element by ID, and get element by ID, that's the time here. So the time include all three spans here. That's everything that they have here, we to include all of those. And that's simply my DOM. Is it clear, the DOM? Yeah?
Yes.
Good. Now notice what will happen now. Let's get rid of this one, we don't need it. We have our data, we have our DOM. A component, I don't know if we need component or not. Event, let's start with the event. How many events do we have here in our project? So if I go to here, how many events do we have? When I click on this button, when I click on this button, when I click on this button, right? So how many events do we have?
3.
3 events, indeed. So let me go to the event here and create a new file, and I can name it start, right? Start event. Start is correct. Start, yes. Start event .js. And of course, I will need also stop event, right? Stop event .js. And I will need reset, right? So 3 of them. Reset event .js. Voila. Let's start first with the start one. And here, of course, as you know, the event, it must be inside the function. So I can just say const. And here I name it start event. So I will name it start event. It will be, of course, an arrow function, as you know. Event is correct. And here it will be an arrow function. And voila. Of course, I need to export it or not. Do I need to export it or not?
Yes.
Of course, I need to export it. Why? Because I need to import it inside.
Init.
Init.
Yes. So let's go to init directly and import our first event. I say import start event. Voila. VS Code will help me. I will just say .js. And here, all I have to do, I have to execute this function. Voila. That's the first one. Let's save here. Now let's go to the start event. Actually, let me do the reset, do all of them. I will create all of them, import all of them to init, then I'm gonna start coding with them, right? So here I can just say const reset event. Of course, it will be the same. It will be a function, as you can see. And here, all I need to do here, I need to export this one as well. So exp, voila. And let's do it for the stop as well. Const stop event. So currently I'm doing nothing. I'm just creating my event without any code. And here, of course, it will be an arrow function as well. And here, of course, I need to export it. Exp, voila. Now, all we have to do now, we're going to need to go to our init and import all of them. So I have start, then I need to import the stop. And I need to import reset. Or reset event, voila. And of course, I need just to excuse him, simply like so. Like that, and the other one here, it will be a reset, if I'm not mistaken, reset event, voila. Let's save them, and let's get rid of this space. Let's make sure, start with the start event here. Let's make sure that my start event is working, so I can log something. I can just log anything, just to make sure it's working. And now here, if I go to my code, I should have in the console, that's my code, right? Start event, voila, now it's working, good. So what do I need to do in the start event? Which event I need to add? It's a button, right? Is it a button or not?
Yes.
Yes, add
So
event listener.
I need to import.
DOM.
Of course, I need to import the DOM because my element is inside the DOM. So I say import DOM from .js, and now here inside my function, what I need to do here, I just need to say DOM.start because that's the name of my button. Add event listener, and the event, of course, it will be click. And when I click, I want to execute a handler. What is the name of the handler? What should I name it?
Start handler.
Start handler. Start handler, which I don't have. Voila. And now here, I'm just going to go to the handler and I'm going to create the start handler. So click new file, start handler.js. Let me create it. Post start handler, which will be an arrow function. And let me export it directly. And of course, I need to import it inside my event here because I don't have it. So I say import start handler, voila, and that should be good. So I've added event listener here on the start button. Whenever I click on the start button, it will execute this function, which is called start handler. Now let's go to start handler here. And now here, just to make sure everything is okay, I can just log something. Start handler create, for example. So let's go here, refresh, click, and start button click. So that everything is good. Everything is connected correctly. Now, what should I do when I click on the start handler? Can anyone tell me what should I do? What should I do when I click on the start handler?
It will start counting.
I'm sorry?
It will start counting.
I'm start counting. Okay. That's a good idea. To start counting, I need to import something here. Do I need to import my data or not?
Yes.
So let me import my data. Import data. Voila. .js. So I've imported my data here, and here I need to check. First, before doing anything, I need to check if do I already have an interval or not, because maybe I have an interval. If I have an interval, what should I do? So before I do anything, I need to check if I already have set interval or not. Check if I have an interval. If I have an interval, I need to remove this interval because here I am starting, right? For some reason, if there is another interval, I need to, if there is interval running, I need to clear it. Then I need to start a new one, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
But how could I know if I have an interval or not? Well, it's quite simple. If I go to my data, if I click on this one, if I go to my data, and if I close all of that for now, I don't need them. Don't need this one. I have interval ID. So if interval ID is null, that means I don't have any interval. But if interval ID is not null, then that means I have an interval. So I can just say if data dot interval here, which is interval ID, that means if it exists, if this one exists, then what I should do here, I need to clear this interval. So I say clear interval, and I need to pass the ID, and the ID, it will be data dot interval ID. Voila. So I'm checking if data dot interval ID, if that means there is interval here, then I'm gonna clear this interval. That's fine. But what if I don't have an interval? What should I do now? I should create now an interval, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
So here I can just say data dot interval ID, it's equal to set interval. And set interval, what parameter it take? Set interval, what parameter it take? We just discussed it yesterday. It take two parameters, right?
Yeah, the function
and
and the delay.
Okay, so here let's pass our function here as a callback. Voila. And here I need to pass the delay. Now for here, delay, I'm gonna decide to be 10 milliseconds. I told you it's not a wise to go beyond 10 milliseconds. Voila. So I'm checking if I have interval ID because I'm starting the bottom, I'm gonna clear it, then I'm gonna start a new interval. And notice when I start the interval, set interval, I'm saving it in my data.interval ID. So I'm directly saving it. Like that, I will know if I have an interval or not. That's fine, but what do I want to do here in each 10 milliseconds? What do I want to do? What do I want to do in each 10 milliseconds? What do I need to do? Well, I need somehow to calculate the time. What do I mean by calculate the time? I need to see how my millisecond, my second, my minute is gonna change. That's for, so those, all of them, they will change in 10 milliseconds. Each 10 milliseconds, I will call this function. So I need to check my millisecond, my second, my minute, because they will change. These millisecond, each 10 milliseconds, they will change. And if this one becomes 1,000, the second it will become increased by 1. And if this second become 60 seconds, the minute, it will change as well. It will become 1 minute extra. So what I need to do here in this function, I need to calculate the time. And by time, I mean millisecond, second, and minute. But I will not only calculate the time, I need to calculate the time, and also I need to show the new time inside my, inside here, inside this guy here. So this new time, I need to show him here, right? No? So I need to do these two steps. How could I not do that? How could I do that? No idea?
Maybe something that if milliseconds is 100, no, 1000, then it's 1 second. And
Oh.
after that, if it's 60 seconds, then it's 1 minute.
That's a good idea. Okay, now when I want, yes, you are absolutely correct, but it's good idea to put this time change inside its own function, right? Because I don't want to put it inside the handler here. It's a good idea to create a function and put this function which will be responsible for time change inside the function. Now this function here I want to create, do you think it will be a component function or it will be a util function?
Util,
Why util?
because it's doing something and
Because it's dealing with data only, right?
yeah.
Indeed. So here I will just click. I'm going to create a new file here, and maybe I can name it. What should I name it? Update time. Let's name it update time. Update time.js. Voila. So let's create this update time function here. Const update time. It's equal here. Now in update time, I will receive my data here. So in update time, I will receive the data here in update time. So here my data here, come on, my data here, it will include everything. It will include second, minute, everything here, my data. That's nice. Okay, now here, what I need to do here, whenever I call this function, what should I do with the millisecond? So each time, and notice here, it's set interval. My function here, it's set interval here. So if every time, so every 10 millisecond, I will call this function. Every 10 millisecond, because here, as you can see, the delay is 10 milliseconds. So each 10 millisecond, I need to call this function. So what will happen with the millisecond each time I call it? They will increase, they will decrease. What will happen with them?
Will be increased
By
10 milliseconds.
10.
Mhm.
Because I'm calling it 10 millisecond here. So what I can do here, I can just say data dot millisecond. Why is not typing milliseconds plus 10? Why is that? Let's just make sure.
You didn't import the data.
It's fine. It's fine. Not here. It's this one. So let me just put this one like that. Voila. So each time I'm gonna call this function because I'm calling it each 10 millisecond. So as the number of the millisecond, it will increase by 10. That's nice. That's good. But here, I need also to put another condition. I just, every time I call this function, I should not only update the millisecond, I should also update the second and also update the minute, right? So how can I update the second?
Data seconds.
Well, yes, but I cannot just update the second like that. I need to update it under some condition. So whenever the millisecond becomes thousands, then I need to update the
seconds.
Indeed. Why? Because each 1,000 millisecond, it's 1 second. So what I can say here, I can say if milliseconds or data dot millisecond is equal to 1,000, that's mean I have 1 second, right? So what do I need to do? Well, first I need to empty the millisecond. Why do I need to empty millisecond? Because the millisecond cannot be more than 1,000. They become thousands and they become 0 again. So data dot millisecond, I need to make it 0. And here now I will go to the second and I will increase it by 1. Voila. Cool. So what I'm going to do here, I will say if data dot millisecond, it's 1,000. That means I have 1 second extra. So I will say data dot second, I will increase it by 1. And data dot millisecond must be 0. That's good. But now here I also need to update the minute. And it's the same idea here. I will just say if data dot second, how many seconds in 1 minute?
60.
16. If it's 16, then what I need to do here really, I need to just to make the second 0 and update the minute like that. Voila. And after that, of course, I need to return the time here. So here I can just return my data. Cool. So what we are doing is this function. Of course, I need to export my function because I need to use it. exp, voila. So what I'm doing here, why is the problem here? Data.
Import data.
Import data.
No. I'm not importing data. I'm passing data here as a parameter. I told you in util and component function is not a good idea to import the data here. No. I will import the data when I call it here, this one. Now, when I call the function, I will pass my data to the function. Okay? It's not a good idea in component and util function to import the data. No. I'm here passing the data as a parameter, as you can see. And here data like that, assigned to property of function parameter data. Yeah, it's fine. It's just telling me that you are just assigning it to this property. It's fine, then just ignore it. So I have my data here, and of course my data here, it will be millisecond, second, minute, interval ID. I will receive them here, and then I'm saying data dot millisecond, and like that, it was 0. When I call this function, I want it to be 10. Okay, fine. Now here, when the millisecond becomes 1,000, I want to make the millisecond 0 because the millisecond cannot be more than 1,000. I'll make it 0, and then I will increase the second. Then here for the second, if data dot second becomes 16, then I will say data dot second is equal to 0, data dot millisecond, dot minute is equal to, I will increase the minute by 1. Okay, now here, what if the minute becomes 16? What should I do? What should I do if data dot minute becomes 0? What should I do? I'm sorry, it becomes 16. What should I do? I have 16 minutes, that means 1 hour. What should I do? Yes. Do I have hours here in my stopwatch? Do I have hour?
No.
So I will just make them 0, simply like that. Voila. Cool, because I don't have hour. So when the minute becomes 16, because the minute cannot be more than 16, I will just make it 0. Simply like that. And let's see how my code changes here. So let's go to our handler. Let's import my util function. I'll just say import. We name it update time, right? Voila. And now here, inside this set interval, I'm gonna call my function. So I can just say const updated data, or whatever you want to call it, updated. Let's say new data. New data, it's equal. Now I'm gonna call my function, and when I call my function, what do I need to pass? If I go to my function, what do I need to pass here as a parameter?
Data.
So I need to pass the data, and it will return me the new data. So let's go here, and now here, of course, I'm calling my function update time, and now here I need to pass the data. Where is my data? That's my data here. I'm importing it here. I will pass my data here. And of course, remember this function, it will return a new data, updated data, so I can log it. So let's log it. Let's log it to see how it will change. New data. Voila. And now what I can do here, I can just refresh and notice what will happen here. Start. See? So it's giving me, so as you can see, the millisecond is changing. Whenever the millisecond becomes 1,000, where is 1,000 here? See, when it becomes 1,000, it will become again 0, and the number of the second, it will increase to 2. And as you can see, voila, that's what I want to write. Is that what I want to or not?
Yes.
Perfect. Voila. So that simply is my util function. Now it's very good. My util function is working really nice. Again, I'm gonna repeat it. What do I want to do? Remember, I'm calling this function h10 millisecond. Well, when I call the function, I need to pass my data. My data is here, of course, in the handler. So I will check data.millisecond I must increase it by 10. Why? Because I calling this function h10 milliseconds. So I need to increase the millisecond by 10. Then I will check if data.millisecond is 1,000, because they cannot be more than 1,000. If they're 1,000, I will make them 0, and then I will increase the second by 1. Then I will go if data.second is 16, because 16 second can be only 16. Maximum, they can be 16. More than 16 is not possible. I will make data.second 0, and then I will increase the minute by 1. But what if minute reach 16? I cannot have more than 16 minutes. I will just make it 0. Why? Because here in the stopwatch is not including the hour. If it's including the hour, I will increase the hour as well, but it's not including. So simple solution, it will be just to make it 0. Data.minute, make it 0 again. So it will start again. And then I'm gonna return my updated data. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Perfect. Now I was managed to update my let's say my time or my data here using a util function, which is nice. But what now I need to do here also in my start handler, I don't want just to update the data. I also want to update the DOM. So I need to create a function to insert this new data inside the DOM, because I want to see these changes, right? So what will be a good solution? I can create a function. Which type of function?
Component.
Component function, indeed. So I can create a component function. Why? Because I need to update my DOM with the new data. I don't want to see him as my console. I want to see them in the DOM. So I name it here update time. And here, let's go to the component, new file, and maybe I can name it, what should I name it?
Update DOM.
The update time DOM, for example, update time DOM. .js, voila. So let's create our function const update time DOM. Remember here in update time DOM, I will pass my new data, huh? So here I will pass my data as a new data. Why? Because in my handler here, see, I am receiving the new data. So I can pass this new data to my component function, and like that, it can update it. Okay? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to my update time component. So first here, I will need time, but also I will need something else, which will be time DOM. And now you tell me what is time DOM. I will show you what's time DOM. Let me just do this one. I will export it directly. EXP. Voila. So what the hell is time DOM? What the hell is this one? Well, as you can see here, now when I try to update my DOM, I want to pass the time, because the time here in my data, in my DOM, let's go to my DOM here. I need to pass this one here, this time. Why do I need to pass the time? Well, because the time here, if I click on this one, inspected, as you can see, the time includes the minute, the seconds, the millisecond. So I want to pass this div, all of it with all the element. Why? Because in my component function, I want to receive this div, and from this div, I can access the minute, I can access the second and milliseconds, then I can insert the new data inside them. So in the new function here, so let's name it const time DOM. It will be equal to my function here. My function, what do we name it here? Update time DOM, right? Update time DOM. I will create it, and of course, update time is being inserted here. And now here in this function, I need to pass two stuff here. I need to pass my time and the new data. So how can I pass that the time? The time in the DOM, how can I pass it? I need to pass this one here, time. How can I pass it?
Data dot time.
Yeah, but it's not in data.
DOM dot time.
Yes, so it's in DOM. First, I need to import the DOM here. So click. That's my data. And now here I need to import my DOM as well. Import DOM. Voila. Now here I'm coming here. First, I will import, but should I pass all the DOM or something specific? DOM dot. I want only to pass the time. DOM dot
DOM dot time.
Time, and I will need to pass a new
Data.
voila. And voila, now here. And now here, all I need to do here, do I need to, actually, I don't need here to return anything. In my component function, I don't need to, do I need to return anything or not? Because I am passing the DOM element and I have the DOM element, I just need to update it. I don't need to create it. So do I need to return anything?
No.
Actually, I don't need to. Let me get rid of this one. Voila. So now in my new function, I have the time here, the time, which includes the milliseconds, the second, and the minute. I'm passing here as a parameter. And also I have the new data. So now all I have to do now, I can go to here. I have my time DOM and I have my time. Now here, what do I want to do? Well, I want to now to access the millisecond. So how can I make access the millisecond? Where is my millisecond? It is inside time. It is inside time. It is inside time.
Time DOM.
It is inside time. That's my millisecond. It is inside
Time.
time or time DOM.
Time DOM.
I want to access the DOM. The second
Yeah.
is DOM to update it. So it will be time
DOM.
DOM. Yeah, but time DOM give me the div here. So time DOM is give me this div. How can I access the millisecond? Any idea? Dot query.
Selector.
Yes, because query selector exists on all the element. So I can just say query selector. And here I will pass not minute, I will pass millisecond. Now, where is my millisecond? Let's go so I don't make any trouble here. Well, that's because it has a class called millisecond. So I'm going here. I will pass my class. Voila. So now I'm accessing the DOM. All I have to do now, I will just say dot inner text or inner HTML, whatever you want to. Inner text or inner HTML. Inner text. It will be equal to time dot millisecond, right? Yes, no. Yes or no, because in my data I have millisecond.
Yes.
Voila. Now the time DOM here, it will be time dot millisecond. That's it. I don't want anything else. That's the first one is finished. Time DOM here is just telling me it's fine. Now here, of course, I don't want to update only the millisecond. I want also to update the second and the second and the minute, right? Time.dom create second and the same idea. For the minute is the same idea. And voila. So I don't want to return anything here. Why? Because I am passing the DOM directly and I have the time. I just want to update it. And let's see if that will work for now or not. So let's refresh. It's not perfect, of course. I'll show you why. But let's click on this one. See, it's working actually. See? It's not what I want to. I need 0 before this one now, but it is working actually. I have a problem here. Can anyone tell me what is the problem here? So when you look at your DOM and you see this sign here with something shifting like that, this color, that means it's changing all the time. Can anyone tell me what's the problem? Can anyone tell me? Let me show you the demo. So I show you the problem. Notice here, compare this one with the demo. So this one has been changing, this one been changing, this one been changing. Let's go to the demo here and inspect this one. And notice here what will happen. So if I click on start, notice only this one is changing. And when this one becomes thousands, then this one is changing. The minute is not changing until this one becomes 16. So I should not change everything in the DOM. Only if the second is thousands, then I should change the minute. I'm sorry, change the second. And only when the second is 16, then I should change the minute. Because I don't need to change them. And if I change them, that means my function doing too much job is changing the DOM each 10 milliseconds, and that's not good for performance. Do you understand the difference? See? Then when this one becomes 1,000, this one is changing. Now, when this one becomes 16, then this a minute will change. Let's wait. Let's wait. Notice when this will become 16, this one will become 1. And voila. See? Then it's flash once. But if I go to my project is not doing like that. All of them are changing all the time. Each 10 milliseconds, all of them are changing. So what should I do? That's not good. What should I do? Well, yeah. What should I do? Well, I need to check if the second changes. So now millisecond, of course, they will change. Why? Because each 10 milliseconds, I'm calling this function. So the millisecond, of course, they will change. But for the second, I need to make sure that the second are different. So I need to make sure that the second are changed. When they are changed, then I need to update it. And also the minute, I need to make sure that the minute changed, then I need to update it. So what could be the solution?
Can we put the set time?
No, maybe we can, what we can do here, we need, so I will try to explain the problem. We need to make sure that the second is changed. If it does not change, they will not update it, the minute as well. So the easiest way it will be, did you do any idea?
Not really.
I'm sorry?
No.
No. So what I can do, I can create 2 new property and I can name it all seconds old second, it will be 0, and old minute, 0. I will not create old millisecond because milliseconds, they will change. Every time I call these functions, they will change because I am updating the millisecond. I will create two new property, old second and old minute. Fine. Fine. And now here, all I have to do, I have to put a condition here. So for the millisecond, it will be the same. But here I can just say if data, or now here I name it time, if time dot second, it's not equal to time dot old second. If they are not the same, then I'm gonna update it. Voila. And the same here for the minute. If time dot, so if the minute here, the new minute, is not the same as the old one, then I'm gonna update it. Voila. And now here, what I can do here, I can just update my old second. So my old second, it will be the new second. My old minute, it will be the new minute here. So time dot old second. So it will go here and it will check. Is the time here, the second here, is the same as the old second? If they are not the same, it will update this one. If they are the same, it will just do nothing, but it need to update the old second because when the second arrive here, it will change. Next time it will change. So old second now, it will be equal to time dot second. I will debug this code to show you what do I mean. But now if I go here, I refresh, I say start, that's mine, right? See, this one is not, so this one is never changed. See, this one is never changed. This one here and becomes thousands, then this one is changing. And now here, then when this one becomes 16, then this one will change. And that's a good performance for my performance. If I don't have to change something on the DOM, I shouldn't change it. And as you can see now, when this one becomes 16, then the minute will change. When this one becomes thousands, then this second change. And that's, of course, nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And voila. Voila. But I still have a problem here. Can anyone tell me what's the problem here? Here and here?
It should be 01, 09.
Indeed. So I need to format my my minute, my second, and even my millisecond. Because my millisecond at some point become 1, as you can see. You can't see them because they are very fast, but they become 1 as well. So I need really to format my millisecond, my second, and my minute. And if I format those, everything will be fine then. Yes? No?
Yes.
Good. So let's go and try to format them. Of course, to format the second and the millisecond, I need to create two small functions. They will be in util. So here, what I can do here, let's go to util and I say first format millisecond. Milliseconds .js. So here I can just say const format millisecond, it's equal to, millisecond is not correct. Okay. I need to pass my millisecond here. My millisecond. Let me just get rid of this one. Let's get rid of this one. And let's share this should be equal. Voila. Okay. I need to correct this one. Let's rename it. Let's get rid of the name, but millisecond. Voila. So what should I do in the millisecond here? How can I format my millisecond? If the millisecond is, let's say 10, how many zero? Well, let's say it's if the millisecond is 1, how many zeros should I add before it? My millisecond here is 3 digit, as you can see. If this one is 1, how many zeros should I add before it?
2.
2. And if it's more than 10, how many zeros should I add?
1,
And if they are 3-digit, how many zero should I add?
0.
No.
No.
Zero, it means none. It's mean none, okay? So what I can do here is quite simple. Actually, I can just say if my millisecond is less than, they cannot be less than 0, of course. If my millisecond here is less than 10 here. So if they
But
are,
Samir, it's never less than 10 because you started like with 10 milliseconds. So it's never less than 10.
how do you know?
Because at the beginning in the handler, I think you put that it started like millisecond start equals plus equals 10. So it's always calculated by 10, 10, 10. Yeah.
It is fine. If that's the case, fine, it's fine. If it's that the case, then I want to return 0, 0, and millisecond. Okay, just like that. If now he says the if is finished, but what if the millisecond here, it's less than 100? If they are less than 100, that means how many 0 do I need to add? 1 0. Okay, so if they are less than 10, that means I need to add 2 0 before it. If it's less than 100, I need to add just 1 0. And else, actually here it should be else if else, just a second. If else,
Else if.
ah.
Yeah.
And here else, I should return what? I should return the same value because here I don't need to add anything. So if it's less than 10, I need to add 2 0. If it's less than 100, I need to add 1 0. If it's not less than 100, that means I already have 3 digits. So I'm going to return as they are. And simply that's the millisecond here. But I need also to format my minute and my second, right? I created a function to format my millisecond, but I did not create a function to format my second and minute. Now for the second and minute, both of them are from 16, so I can use the same function. So here I can just name it format time unit or unit. Unit.js. This one, it will be super simple. Const format unit. It will be just equal to the unit. I will name it unit. It doesn't matter if it's second or minute because both of them from 16. And now here it's simple condition actually. Well, as you can see. No, that's not what I want to. What I can do here, I can just check if the unit is less than 10. So if it's less than 10, what should I do?
Add 0.
Come on. If it's less than 10, what should I do? I should add a 0, right? So it will be 0 plus the unit, else I'm going to return the unit. So unit here, it will be second. Okay, so unit here, it will be either second or minute. I'm checking if it's less than 10, then I'm going to add 0 plus the unit. Else I'm going to add, I'm just going to add the unit itself. But here I need to make it string. Voila. Should be fine. Let's export our function, exp. And voila. Now I need to use these two functions, of course. Unexpected string concatenation. Why? Unexpected string concatenation parameter. Come on. Let's go now to our handler, and I need to import these two functions. So I need to import, what do we name it here? Format millisecond, and the second one, it will be format unit. Yeah, but it's not here actually. They should be inside my here. Voila. Import format millisecond and .js. And I need to insert also format, import format unit. Voila, and here .js. Voila. So what should I do here? Well, I need to format the time here, right? Before I insert it in the DOM. So what I can do here, this is milliseconds, so I can use format millisecond. Come on, I can use this one. I call this function like that, and I need to pass this value here to it. Voila. So because this function format millisecond here, it expects me to pass the millisecond, and I'm passing the millisecond, as you can see, and it will format it, then it will add it here. As for this unit, I can use the same function, which will be format unit. So I can just call the format unit, pass this one, and here it will format the second, and then if they need it, here it will show it. The same for minute, I will just say format unit, pass this one, and that should be good. And now here, if I go to my code, it should be perfect. Let's go. Let's refresh, start. So as you can see now, let's see. Actually, they're not adding here. Why? That's bad. Start. Nope. It looks like I have a problem. Format unit. If it is, no, if it's greater than 10, it should be less than 10. My mistake, sorry. If it's less than 10, then we will add 0, else we'll not. Now let's refresh and try it. Now it should work. Start, and voila, it's working now, as you can see. Now I have my 0 here. And here also, everything, it will be fine, as you can see. And when we get to minute also, it will be formatted.
Samir,
Mhm.
can we do that milliseconds are also 2 digits? Because like 3 digits, it's like not common, and usually it's
No.
like 222.
No. Millisecond, actually, it's 3 digit.
Yeah, but it's always the last one is 0, so we can cut it.
Yeah, but how can I say it? Millisecond, even how can I say it? Millisecond normally in stopwatch in 3 digit. So you need to make it 3 digit.
Okay.
And now, as you can see, everything is fine for me. Is this updating? That's only updating when it is needed, and this one will only update as needed. And I format my millisecond, I format my second and my minute. Let's just check if it's working. And voila, it's working perfectly, right? That's nice. That's nice. So I've managed now to make my stopwatch working perfectly. That's good. I have format my millisecond. I have format my unit, which is work with both second and millisecond. I update the time. That's my function. Everything is good. My handler is working perfectly. That's is not really big. It's not ugly. It's small. Now here I need to work with the other 2 handler, because I have 3 handler actually. And now I need to work with the reset, and also I need to work with the stop. So what should I do here? Let's start with the stop, for example. Stop. What should I do here in the stop? I need to import. What do I need to import? What do I need to import?
DOM.
Yes. You don't need to think about it. I need to import. No. Import DOM from // DOM.js. And that should be fine. So I'm importing my DOM. Good. And now here from the DOM, I can have DOM dot, where is it? Here we are working with the stop, right? Stop. And here dot add event listener, and the event, of course, it will be click. And when I click, what do I want to do? I want to call my handler, and my handler, it will be stop handler. Do I have stop handler?
Not yet.
Let's create it. Voila, .js. And here is just a const stop handler. It will be equal to an arrow function. Voila, and I need to export it directly so I can import it inside my event. exp stop handler. Fine. This is my stop event. I need to import it here. So import stop handler. Stop handler. Voila. And here, what's the problem here? Import, expect one empty line after import statement, not followed by another. Come on. No. It's saying here that this one should be space. That's what they're saying. Cool. So now here, when I click on the stop button, I will call my stop handler. Cool. Let's go to the stop handler and see what we can do. Now, in the stop handler, what should I do? Of course, I will need to import my data, right? Do I need the data or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Import data from dot slash data.js. Do I need the DOM here? Do I need the DOM?
Yes.
I will need the DOM. Import DOM. DOM from dot slash DOM.js. So stop handler. So what do I want to do when there is a stop handler? What should I do? Well, obviously I need to stop my interval, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
So what I need to do here, I just need to stop my interval in case it exists or not. Because if I don't stop the interval, the stop will not stop at all. It will go on, go on, go on. And that's really not what I want to. So the easy solution, it will be, I will need to check if I have an interval or not. How can I check if I have interval? Data
Data interval
dot interval
Interval
ID.
ID.
That means if it exists, I'm gonna just clear it. Voila. But of course here, do I need really to update the DOM? I'm just stopping it. Do I need to update the DOM?
No.
I don't think we need to update the DOM, so let's just keep it here. Why? Because I just want to stop it here. I don't want to update anything. It will just stop. Let's not update the DOM and let's see if it will work or not. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Refresh. Start. Let's go. Stop. And it stopped actually. Everything is fine. Let's start again. And it starts from the same numbers. That's what I want to. Good. Let's go. Stop. It stopped. That's nice. Go. Stop. It's good. Voila, it's working perfectly then. I did not do anything actually here in my stop handler. I did not do anything. I just check if there is an interval, I stopped it. That's it. Now, when I click on the start again, what start is going to do here, where is the start? Here, it will check if there is intervals, it will clear it. And then here, it will start this one here. But of course, my data here, I'm not clearing my data. Am I clearing my data? In the stop here, in the stop handler, am I resetting my data or not?
No.
No, that's what I want to, because if when I stop, I don't want to change the data. I want to keep the data as they are. I just want to stop them. And then when I click on start, they will start from the same data I have. But now when we go to reset, what should I do? It's like stop, but I need to do something else.
Clear the
Set the
data.
data.
I need to reset.
Data.
Indeed. So it will be the same idea exactly, as you can see. Okay, reset, and here in reset, I need to also to import my DOM, of course. So let's import my DOM. Import DOM. And from, yeah, that should be good. And here, of course, reset handler, I need to add. So I'll just say DOM dot, I have reset, add event listener, and the event, it will be click. And when I click, I need to call my handler, which will be
Set handler.
reset handler. Voila. Do I have reset handler? I don't, right? So I need to create it. Voila, reset handler. Let's create it. Reset handler, it will be equal to an arrow function. And let's export it directly because I need it. Voila. Of course, now in my reset handler, I need now to import my handler because I don't have it. Voila. Cool. So here I'm not doing anything, just dom.reset add event listener. Click. When I click, I will call this guy here, which is reset handler. Let's go to my reset handler. What should I do in my reset handler? I will need data and I will need DOM. Do I need both or not?
Yes.
What I can do here, I can just import DOM. Let's see first. And let me import the data as well. I'm not sure if I will need the DOM or not, but let's import it for now. Okay, now let's go to this one here. So what I need to do really, if I have an interval, as you can see, if I have an interval, I'm gonna clear the interval. But what I need to do here, I need to say data dot, I need to clear this one. And this is not good actually. Now here I need to first, when I click on reset, if I have any interval, I need to clear the interval. And now here I need to reset my data. So reset data. And here I will say data dot millisecond, right? Milliseconds, they should be what? They should be 0. And here also the second, they should be 0. And the minute also they should be 0. Minutes, they should be 0 as well. That's simply how it is. And even if I want to, I can make the data dot milli, I'm sorry, old minute, I can also make them 0. And old second also, like that. Of course, that's nice, but I will have slightly problem, I think. Let's see. Start. Reset. So when I click on reset, yes, it stopped, but here they did not make 0 for everything. So I need to make 0 for everything. How can I do that? Well, maybe I can call this function, right? Because here, this function, I'm just passing my DOM and my data, right? So if I call update.time, it will update it for me. So let's go to reset here. And all I have to do, simply, I just need to import update time DOM, this function. And if I just need to call it here. And here I need to pass my DOM. Do I have the DOM here? Yes, DOM dot time. And then I need to pass the data. Remember here, the data, I change them. I make everything 0. And then I'm just going to call this one to update my DOM. And now here, if I go here, refresh, start, cool, stop, start again, reset. It's not doing everything. Why? It's making this one 0, but it's not making the other 0. Reset. Makes this one 0, it makes this one 0. It does not make the second. Why? I don't think I will need those. Let's see. Data.millisecond, data.second, and data.minute. All of them are 0. Let's go. Let's try again. Start. Reset. And now it's working. Start. Reset. It's working. Start. Let's have 1 minute, and after that to make sure. So the reason why it's not doing that, because I will also making the old minute and old second 0. And my condition here is checking if the old second is different from the second, then it will update it. But in my case, both of them are 0, so it was not updating it. So I don't really need to update the old second and the old minute, because if I update, make them 0, now the second and the old second is the same. If they are the same in this function, as you can see here, the condition must not be the same. If I make both 0, it will not be the same, it will not update it. So just only update the minute and the second and the millisecond, not the old one. Okay, let's wait. Come on, faster. A little bit faster. Okay, now I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna start it again. It's working perfectly. Reset, and everything is reset, which is good. So now my project working perfectly. Okay, everything is working very nicely, perfectly. It's good performance. Everything is fine. And voila, that's my project simply. Of course, you need to write some maybe test for your util function if you want to. Where's my util? Yeah, for format millisecond should be simple. It shouldn't be that difficult. This one should be simple. Update time if you want to. And also for the component mini-B, you can write some tests here. That's it. Other than that, everything is easy. Was it difficult?
It's tricky.
Of course, it's tricky. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording now.